got with the Phoenix Police to do what's called like a ride-along and apply, go to the academy and become a Phoenix police officer. And I had a really bad experience with the police officer, that the first one that they had me ride along with, go to the academy and become a Phoenix police officer. And I had a really bad experience with the police officer, that the first one that they had me ride along with. One of the first things this guy did, he goes and he parks behind a shopping center, and he said, yeah, we'll just park here and then wait for a call. Then he starts telling me this story about this guy that they had arrested like a night or two before. So anyway, so we're sitting there and he's telling me about this arrest that they did. And then he says, yeah, and then this guy like grabs himself and says to me and the other officers, you blank and want to blank, you want to blank with me? Here, you can blank this. And he said he undid his pants and pulled out his, yeah, no, seriously, he was like this, look at this. And I look over and grabbing himself, I go, he took it out? Oh, yeah, no, he did and this cop unzips his fly and gets his hand in there and starts to pull himself out. And I'm like looking out there, and he goes, no, this is what he did. But I just said, you know, I want to go, I want to leave. I want to leave. And he began acting pretty nervous, and he took me back to the station. And you know what it did? I mean, this is what you try to make heads or tails of things in life, right? And so this is all I can kind of apply to it, is that when I was a kid, when I was almost 10 years old, and the guy across the street from us hired me to anyway, this guy across the street, he and his wife, they built this brand new house right across the street from us, and he was seeding the front and back with tiff seed. They hired me to water it, and Arizona, I mean, I probably watered it. You had to water it super light. You didn't want to have a washout for the seed to wash away. You didn't want it to puddle and all this stuff. So that was a way to do it. And I was just a little kid, but I knew how to do it. I love plants. I love that. I don't know, half a dozen times or more, maybe a day. And but there was one time when this guy, his wife was at work. She was an administrator, or she worked at the time, I think, for an administration at a huge hospital here in the valley. And he was an electrician. He was a union electrician, but he would get home early, and I was finishing up when he got home of himself. But he had asked me if his wife had paid me, and I said, no, I hadn't been paid yet. He said, he goes, I'll be in the house. He goes, just come around to the front door and just come in. And I knocked, and this guy, I could hear him yell, just come in. Walked in, and he was standing there in the bedroom, and he's got a robe on, but it's open, and he's buck naked. Just common sense, right? You're not going to look at him and stuff, but he comes out, and he closed his robe and everything, so everything went to normal, and then he goes, here, sit here, I'll be right, just give me a minute. And he takes the robe off, he's buck naked, so I'm just like, again, just kind of looking around, not, I'm giving this guy privacy, right? I'm connecting this like with this police officer some years later, okay? That police officer was like, no, look, trying to get your undivided attention, right? It's not that difficult to, discern. And, I was replying and stuff to him and responding, but not looking at him because he's still naked. It's like, how much more is there to dry off? And, and he goes, come here. And I go, nah, you know what? Let me come back. I'll come back. I'll just take care of it tomorrow. And he goes, no, I got your money right here. Come here. Let me give you your money so you can get out of here. And it's so I walk back there, and he's got this thing on, right? And he goes, you ever see anything? And he goes, yeah. He goes, the doctor told me I need to wear this because of a hernia. And he goes, it puts pressure, on where this hernia is. It's supposed to heal it or help it or something. Anyway, then he goes, oh, brother, look at that. And he's getting an erection and really not comfortable at all. And he tells me, he goes, just put your hand on it. And I didn't. He goes, just put your hand on it, touch it. He goes, if you touch it, it'll make it go away. He goes, didn't you know that if another guy touches your thing, and it'll just make it go away? And I started getting this panicky kind of, and I just said, I don't want to touch it. I made this mad dash to that living room door, and he beat me to it. But he beat me to the door. But I was a little kid then. Anyway, this guy raped me. He held me down, shoved my face into the carpet. It was right there in the living room, and he pulled my shorts down, and he was angry. Man, he was angry. And he just, it hurt super bad, and I was crying. I was all tears and snot, and he, anyway, it really hurt. But when he was done, man, he just said, this is all your fault. You made this happen. If you would have just touched it, none of this would happen, and all this stuff. And then he went on ranting that he would kill my mom and my dad if I said a word. And he was adamant. I mean, they lived across the street. When I left his house, it was like getting dusky. It wasn't dark. Anyway, I got back home, and I just, like a panic feeling, and that's how I felt when I walked across the street, went home. Dinner was getting ready, and I went right to the bathroom, and I was just inside. I was raised in a really good home. I'll call it a Christian home, but like it wasn't an active Christian home. I mean, my mom drank kind of a lot, and my mom and dad fought a lot. I went in the bathroom, man. I went in there, I locked the door. Was kind of freaking out. I mean, I sat down on the toilet. There was blood in my underwear. I can't throw these in the trash. My mom will find out. They'll find out. And then, the Inquisition will happen, and then he'll kill my family. It was crazy stressful, really stressful. Was connected to what happened with that police officer when he actually unzipped his fly and was, pull it out just to emphasize what this guy that they arrested was, you know, it's like acting it out. Um, but at that point, um, I was a lot older, um, and um, I stood my ground, and something I should have done when I was 10 years old. It happened with me that if I told anybody, this guy would kill my family. These things mold and shape people. So I didn't become a Phoenix police officer. And the guy that lived across the street, in all honesty, he effed my life up. And his wife did too. Abuse. And it went on for 2 years. That he would have oofed my family if I would have said anything. Just know that you are loved, okay? And whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, you're an image bearer of God. It's just like you're in the likeness of your mom or your dad or both. Anyway, you have a great rest of the day. And